Hello everyone, welcome back to Crown My Run and welcome back to a very special one where I have signed up very last minute a day before for the Battersea Half Marathon. I have got all aboard the hype train and bought myself the Adios Pro 4s that came out the day before and thought to myself, what better first run to do in a shoe than a half marathon? A lot of the reviews are saying these run short, and I have purchased my normal sizing in Adidas shoes, which is UK size 10. So if this gorgeous white colorway is colored in my blood by the end of the race, we will know that probably we should all size up a little bit. What are my race goals? Well, I am week 6 of training for the Newport Marathon, where I am aiming for a sub 3 hours for the third time. I have a 1 hour 24 minute 32 seconds half PB, which should put me in good place for a sub 3, but in the middle of training in the last 2 times I've been going for it, I've only managed to scrape a 1:29, blowing up horrifically. So today I'm going to go off at my marathon goal pace of 4:10 per kilometer and then try and speed up to my half marathon PB pace by the end, about 4 flat per kilometer, and come in a 1 hour 25-26-ish and just hope I feel relatively strong. And then at the end I will have a brief discussion on how the Adios Pro 4s felt. Let's go. Here we are, the gun has gone off and we're just trotting up to the start line. I've put myself quite far back to ensure I don't go off like an idiot. We are up and away and ready for the mental challenge that's going to be running 8 loops around Battersea Park. They're all around 2.5 kilometers. There's thousands of runners, so it's going to be a busy one, having to probably lap quite a few people. But as you can see, it's pretty much pancake flat on beautifully maintained tarmac roads. And it's 1 degree today, my perfect running weather, with very limited breeze as well to make my hands get cold. This is as good a time as any to see where my fitness is. Week 6 of this marathon training block, where I've just really been doing base building, ready to really start grinding it out over the next few months. And I also can promise you, this is the first time I've ever put these shoes on, picked my number up at the Battersea track, put them on, and then trotted down the kilometre to the start line, did a few strides, and that is it. At the moment, what are they feeling like? They're feeling nice and squishy, comfortable for now, but we're only 300 metres in, and look at the top left, 4 minutes 10 per kilometre, there or thereabouts anyway. The 1 hour 30 pacer you can see, maybe 50 metres ahead of us. He should be doing 4:16s, I believe, so we should start to ease up behind him over the next kilometre. As the tunes start to get me in the mood to smash my goals. 500 metres in, you'll notice at the top left, the speed does bounce around quite a lot in Battersea. GPS is a bit weak in a few places, but overall the kilometre splits are pretty much perfect, so I will keep you updated with those regularly. At the moment, I'm just locking into that pace, trying to find 4:10 per kilometre, feeling very, very strong. My heart rate, 137. That is the cold weather, people. I just absolutely love running in it. I reckon if it was even 10 degrees, my heart rate would be at least 150 at the moment. Hopefully we can keep it well below my 175 threshold for most of this race. As I move on behind this Headington Roadrunner, am I happy here? Absolutely not. Moving on through. Still got that 1 hour 30 pacer quite a way ahead of me, and apparently I'm speeding up to closer to 4 flat at points. We will see if that is true or just GPS error in a few hundred metres. Just before the end of that first kilometre, I'm in the group of people just behind the 1 hour 30 pacer, just biding my time on when I want to make my move to go through. There's our first official 1 kilometre split, and oh, it's a 4 minute 1 seconds. Oh, we've gone off very quickly. I've perhaps let my ego get away from me here in having to catch up to the 1 hour 30 pacer. And now I'm going past the 1 hour 30 pace. Obviously, I'm going for a 1 hour 25-26, but that doesn't have to be done in the opening kilometre. Let's see if I regret that. 1 mile ticked off, just the 12 to go, and oh, we're already at 4 miles. That was a really quick 3-second split there, breaking a couple world records, and now on to 7 miles. If only. Honestly, seeing, especially this 10 mile sign and sort of working out, right, have I got 7 more laps to go to get to 10 miles? That is a tough old mental barrier, but one we are going to take on the challenge of today. And we are now trotting down to the end of the first lap. We've gone through 2 kilometres in 4 minute flat. And I'll let you in on a little secret. The take it easy first 10, speed up second plan was out the window. I was feeling bloody sensational. The Adios Pro 4s had the squish of an Alpha Fly, but the turnover, well, of the Adios Pro 3, which is the only thing I liked about it. I could enjoy a nice steady pace run, 420 per kilometre in the Adios Pro 3s, but if I went any further, the scratchy upper blistered the hell out of the top of my feet, and being the king of pronation, it just wasn't stable enough. But at this early stage, it felt like a really nice blend. The Alpha Fly squish, but then the quick, smooth turnover of the Adios Pro 3. The upper, it felt lovely at the moment, but that's one we're going to have to wait and see post 10k how we're doing. We've gone through 3 kilometres, a 4 minute and 1 second. We are pretty much bang on my current PB speed as we go through 2 miles as well, just up there. And I would love it if everyone watching could like and subscribe for me rolling the dice today and going for a PB. 4th kilometre, a 4 minute flat. We love to see it, and we have now started to lap our first group of people, and it will be a case of having to run around the outside a lot of this loop now that might add up a little bit of distance by the end. And it was around now I locked in on my first runner, which is the bad boy runner just ahead, as I was feeling like a little bit of a bad boy after breaking my pre-run plan. But I didn't last particularly long behind him. I missed it on camera, but I moved through just afterwards and turned my eyes towards Greytop. Lap 2 of 8 complete. Moving on to our 3rd lap. You can see my heart rate still mid to low 160s, and I kept thinking this is exactly how I felt during my half marathon PB in Manchester in 2023. Could it be one of those good days as I move on past Greytop as we get to 3 miles, almost at the 5k marker? And we'd actually put in a very cheeky little 3:56 as we move on past the 2-hour 10 pacer group. And things here were starting to get a bit tricky, trying to stay on the left of Battersea Park. Obviously on the right, open to the public. Didn't want to go over there, there's bikes and stuff, but there's a lot of congestion at the moment. But I never got held up too badly, and I was aware this was what it was going to be like. And I think it's all part of the Battersea charm, the running mecca of London. And at the moment, I was testing the waters for what just going a little bit quicker than 4 flat felt like. Red stripe paced me for a little bit, but I'm straight on through again. Just trying to maybe hit 356, 357s regularly. Would that be sustainable, or would I have to ease back again? You can see this slight injection of pace has definitely spiked my heart rate more towards 170. If it stays there, that's absolutely fine for a half marathon, but we just need to keep an eye on it. Through 6 kilometres, it was a 3:59, so I had decided 3:56, 3:57 was probably a little bit quick. But look at the amount of people up there. This is the pack going for their sub 2-hour half marathon, and there's a lot of them. My mate is in there somewhere, and I was looking out for him, but I could not spot him. But it turns out I'm absolutely blind because I literally run straight past him. He is literally the guy with the red super blast there, all black cap. Providing I don't blow up, I should have at least one more opportunity to see him by the end of the race, as I scoot on round the outside and have cleared most of that sub 2-hour pack and go through 4 miles about a third of the way through. We've skipped forward about a mile now onto lap 4. I've got a couple of kilometre splits to tell you about. The 7th kilometre was a nice and tidy 3:58. But then I slipped a little bit, a 4-minute 2 for that 8th kilometre. Hopefully not a sign of ominous things to come. And I was trying to just keep the guy in the running vest on the right up there in my sights. And just before the end of the 9th kilometre, I had managed to reel him in, and he was running closely along with the girl in the black armbands. And if we take a look at my heart rate at the top left, 174, I am now reaching my threshold, which is fine. I should be able to run there for an hour. I just need to make sure it doesn't go above. Some absolute legends on the right there hyping us up. Going through the Battersea roundabout now, and the volunteers had let us know that the leader was coming through on the inside. Here he is. Oh, I think he's running in the original Vaporflies, maybe. Not the only reason he's quicker than me, but I'd love to get my hands on a pair of them, and look at him flying away. He is on for a sub 70. Absolute beast. Had I managed to pick it back up? Yes, that 9th kilometre, a 3:59, sat behind Running Vest, and who I'm now officially changing the name to Pink Gloves on the left, who's just got a little bit of water for herself. They were dragging me along nicely as we go through, in a second, the end of our 4th lap, moving on to the 5th. We skip forward now about a mile, and during the 10th kilometre, I felt like the pace had slowed, so I made the decision to move ahead of Running Vest. Here he is coming back past me. And that 10th kilometre was a 4:02, so he had slowed, and I think I'd made the right decision. And in that 11th, I dropped a 3:57, solidly back in the threes, dragged Running Vest with me, and now he's back ahead of me. I think that was a nice bit of us working together there to push that pace on. Heart rate, 172, well in check at the moment. We are now over halfway. Can we keep going at this speed? When he came on past, it did feel like he put in a little bit of a surge to try and break me that I was sort of struggling to stick with. I was just trying to stick to the goal, which was around 4 flat at the moment. If he gets away from me, he gets away from me. I'm only going to push the pace if we drop below 4-minute flat. 11.7k. It was definitely starting to become a struggle to stay with him. But I'd managed to stick to it and get right on his heels again. But I'd only had to do a 4-minute flat, so perhaps he had slowed down himself. We've also reeled in Pink 247 ahead. Maybe we can get some more numbers in our pack, because I'm starting to contemplate going on through again. Is that pace dropping once more? And the answer to that is yes, a 4-minute 2. So once more, I've had to make the decision to ease on past Running Vest and start to set that pace myself. As long as I can maintain 4 flat per kilometre or quicker, I know I've got a really good shot at my PB. As during that 1 hour 24:32, I picked up the pace a lot in the final 3 kilometres to get to that 4 flat average. If I can hold 4 flat until the 17th, 18th kilometre and pick the pace up as I did in that previous PB, I could go quite a bit under. But I didn't just want to sit at 4 flat, wait for the final 500 metres. I was feeling strong, so I was trying to push the pace, and it was getting busy again. I was having to weave in and out, which was definitely going to add a little bit of distance to my race. But to be honest, I was actually finding it quite fun. It takes away from the monotony of just slowly feeling worse and worse and getting more painful. Having to think ahead of, oh, should I go to the inside of that group or to the outside, as another pair of Dons come flying through, checking no one else is going to be there as well so I don't get in their way. Still, overall, I'm in a very good place for 13.5k. And at 13.6k, my good pal Running Vest has moved on back ahead of me. And again, it feels like he's trying to break me. And he succeeded. I had laid down a very healthy 3:57 kilometre there, but he must have maybe done a 3:55 or quicker, depending on how far he was behind me. And it didn't feel like that was in the locker of young Jay Mills at the moment. But thankfully, a new friend had appeared, who I will call Matt without a cap, as he has a very similar outfit to Matt, but without a cap. Speaking of Matt, I think this is the 2-hour pace group again. Can I actually spot him this time? Yes, I'm locked in. There he is. Then I come tickle his bum. Good evening, officer.
Come on. Go on, Jeremy.
Lovely stuff, but I've lost a little bit of time, so I have to surge back behind Matt without a cap. But I'm back and ready, and actually, Running Vest isn't that far ahead as we move on to our 7th lap. 15th kilometre, another 3:57, but my friends, it was starting to get hard out there. I was trying desperately to cling on to this group ahead with Running Vest, Matt without a cap, and now Earl Grey from earlier's come back through, and it was helping me make up a good amount of time over my previous PB. Back-to-back 3:57s, but it was starting to really hurt, and I was starting to question, could I get to the end? 6 kilometres to go at this speed. And I remember thinking, it's about a park run to go. I've done many a park run where, from the beginning, I felt absolutely awful, and I've managed to still do a reasonable time. I've just got to do that now, at the end of a half marathon. Just before 16k here, and I'm clinging on for dear life. And the 16th kilometre is another 3:57, so my determination is paying off big time. We're in the back straight, 1 more lap, and then I've got to do about half a lap to the track to go. It's not far. It is actually now a park run to go. I've laid the table, I've popped a roasty on it, and I've just got to finish my dinner. But I am struggling now. Earl Grey is getting away. Swag Cap's moved on through. How much am I willing to suffer now to grab a good old PB? Oh, and Swaggy's getting away a little bit as well. 17th kilometre, a 4 minute 2 seconds, so a 5-second drop, but I'm hanging in there, and I think Earl Grey might be suffering as well as he's falling back towards me. The more, the merrier, I say. And towards the end of this 18th kilometre, we have all congregated together, forming an alliance of pain. We are in the final full lap of this half marathon. Let's get it done, boys. 18th kilometre, and it's another 4:02, which I'm pretty happy with, only dropping 2 seconds to my PB. And I think there's been enough kilometres around 3:57 pace that I must be pretty close to my PB. However, I am not sure if my watch is bang on. I've been zigzagging a lot, as I've said. I might have to run 200 or 300 metres more, which would mean all my kilometres were actually a little bit slower than I'm thinking they are. So that's at the back of my mind, but I know I'm not far away. Next time round, I'll be turning right at that finish sign, which I'm looking at and dreaming that I could just shoot off in there and finish. But I've got one more lap to go from here before I can try and muster up a sprint finish on the track. 19th kilometre, managed to pick up the pace a little bit, a 4 minute 1 seconds this time, but Swaggy has left me in Earl Grey for dead. Making his move early, I am just biding my time, ready for the final kilometre, where at the moment I sort of feel like I can push at the moment. The 2 kilometres before, I was thinking I'm not going to have much of a kick, but right now, I knew I would have a little bit of something left. The sweet smell of home was near. 20th kilometre, and I'm back in the threes now with a 3:59. I have overtaken Earl Grey and have now turned my attention back to Swagcap. I also, around here, realised that I might actually be on track to perfectly run 21.1 kilometres on my watch, and I hadn't run extra distance. Maybe even I was going to come a little bit under, so I was going quicker than I thought. And that was one of the most incredible feelings of all time. And that adrenaline boost had wiped away any pain I was feeling, which was quite a lot, but it was gone now, and it was just a case of when do I make my move. I know I've got a kick in me. It's just about finding the right time, as I did trip over a cone there. That could have ended in a disaster, but I'm still on my feet. Let's see how close we can get to a PB. We are flying past people at the moment. I was just praying it would open up so I could really send a surge into a nice bit of open air. Maybe here, thinking about going around the outside, but for now, I just bide my time. 600, 700 metres to go, and now I am laying down everything I've got left. Let's go grab every second we can get. And let's turn the volume up and hear what that sounds like as I drop the pace into the 340s. 3:38 per kilometre now. I'm trying to spot if there's anyone actually on the same lap as me. Maybe Pink Vaporflies is, so he needs destroying. Yes, we are straight through as we break into the 320s. I'm giving it absolutely everything I've got. 3:25 per kilometre. It looks like there is a group, but they are quite far ahead of me. We can finally take the right-hand side of the path and head off towards the track. 3:23 per kilometre. Baby death coughs, but nothing that's going to stop us laying down some serious speed now we are on the track. They are 30, 40 metres ahead of me, but I want them. Come on, the J Mills. 200 metres to go, and I 100% realise I'm going to finish early on my watch. This could be something special, but can you break into the twos and overtake anyone ahead? Go on, J Mills. 3:17 per kilometre. Can you get yourself in the twos? Lay everything you've got left. Come on, J Mills. You've got to find something special. 3:12 per kilometre. 3:11 per kilometre. 3:9.86. Come on, get into those twos. You're not going to quite overtake someone, but 2:51 per kilometre. A 3:30 final kilometre, and I didn't have to run the extra 100 metres on my watch. But had I beaten my 1:24:30 PB? Yes, I bloody had a 1:23:26, taking over a minute off my previous PB, and I knew that was very close to my older brother's PB, so I looked it up straight away, and his is a 23:15, so I've still got a little bit to go to finally break his half PB. Did my mate Matt manage to break 2 hours in his first ever half marathon? Here he is crossing the line.
Sonny.
Good filming, Jodie.
Unbelievable stuff from me. But what was his time? Oh, look at that. A 1:55.51, which he likes to say was with a wee break. And what a successful day it was for both of us. How were the Adios Pro 4s? They were an absolute dream. I didn't realise until I finished, but 4 or 5 of my little toes were quite bruised, so I would not want to take these to the full marathon. I would size half up, but for a half, they were pretty much perfect. I can deal with a few bruised toes. As I said during the run, they felt like a blend of an Alphafly 1 and the Adios Pro 3, actually very similar to the Alphafly 3. So which one would I want to use for the full marathon? I'm not 100% sure yet. Both of those shoes I absolutely love. So thank you for watching, everyone. We'll be back at the weekend with a parkrun video, and it's only a couple of weeks until the New Haven 10K where I'll be trying to break 37:30. It's very exciting times at Crown. See you soon.